evening, everybody. This is Quarantine Day 23, and this is the evening episode. Today, I just wanted to kind of reflect on the fact that I was reminded on a couple of occasions today just how intense of a fear there is of this virus for some people. I think some people really think that if they catch this because of, their age or, they're immunocompromised, that this virus would very well likely kill them. Because we don't have really good ways to treat the symptoms. Again, it just causes the lung cells to die and then the lung to slowly be filled with fluid and pus. And that's how this kills you, and there's just not a great way for us to drain the lungs. Lungs are like a sponge. They're not just kind of empty. They're like a sponge. It fills up with air, and then it does the whole oxygen, CO2 exchange within the lungs, and then we breathe out a breath that is slightly more CO2 than when it came in, and less oxygen. So because of this fact that we don't really have a good way of draining the lung of fluid and resuscitating the lung, it's this virus really can mean almost certain death for people at certain ages or with immunocompromised conditions. And so I just was having a conversation. One thing I was reminded of in Japan, and this has been a big thing recently, are the masks. These masks that you wear. Now, when I came back from Japan, I was really excited. I'm like, we should start doing this in America. Because in Japan, if you had a cold or allergies or whatever, why would you, they're like, you shouldn't be like rubbing or blowing your nose. Just have a mask and then it will help. And my coworkers at the school were very much of the opinion that, like, this actually, not only do you spread it for others, but it actually helps with your symptoms. And I found this to be true. So I would put on a mask based on, the advice of my coworkers when I had a cough in the winter. Some people wore them all winter long. And that mask would actually keep more humidity in my mouth and a little bit more warmth. And that warmth and humidity really actually helps with the runny nose and keeps you clear, oddly enough. So I think that would be, and I was having a conversation with some other friends of mine recently, and that actually would be a nice change, that if in America it became more acceptable. I brought these masks back and I would try wearing them and people would just look at me and I just stopped. It was just one of those things that I gave up after coming back to America, because I was like, I'm not going to change the world. But that was one of two things I remember very specifically. I'm like, we should wear masks when we're sick in the winter. If we have a cold, why are you blowing your nose? Why are you handling this stuff? Why are you sneezing? Just have a mask. It all just gets caught there. And then the masks are really cheap. You can change it. So that was one. People should start doing masks. And then the second was, I always thought that they should have more of those tablets available at the restaurants, where you could, instead of ordering from a waiter, you could order from a tablet and specify what you want, see the price right there, and then you could actually flip languages, so you could do multiple languages. A restaurant could serve in multiple languages very easily with one of those tablets. The serving staff still bring out your food, but you're able to get the exact order to the cook in terms of how you want it made, and it seemed to create less errors. So those were the two things I remember wanting to bring back. But the masks are really coming up as an issue because they do help in the sense that, and this is how they've traditionally been used. It's not preventing the world, everything in the world around you, the air in the world around you, from getting to you, but it just helps if you're a little bit sick. You can go out and still function and not get other people sick. And I don't think we should look at people weird or be awkward around them when they have masks. So, something to take away from this if we can help people, because, you know, these flus and other diseases can really be scary for some of the older folks and immunocompromised people anyway, once we're past this virus, going forward. So we could help just spread less disease and help people to live longer, healthier lives, I think, if we were just more open to letting people just wear masks. There you go. All right, have a good evening, everybody.